Okay, so we got now, right, the Roman situation was what? So we got stable and equal. Okay, and I think par takes the dative, right, doesn't it? Par. So to the neighboring states in war. So basically, they were a legitimate government because they could defend themselves, right? Okay, but the Romans had neither wives nor it's like law nor a law of marriage with their neighbors. So basically, in order for kids to be considered legitimate, do you know what that means? In order for kids to be considered legitimate, if they're from different communities, there had to be some sort of legal, contractual agreement between the two communities that says it's okay for different tribes to intermarry. Okay, then Romulus. What did Romulus do? He it. He sent. Yeah, ends in dom, it means certain. So quos dom goes with legatos. So certain. What's legatos? What means legate? What is a legate? Nope, not a letter. Like an ambassador. So he sent, certain ambassadors are out of his, like out of the fathers, meaning like out of the people that were ruling, or the senatorial class that we talked about in the last story, into the neighboring races, right? Or into the neighboring, you could say communities if you wanted to. Okay, and this is talking about who these legates were, who were seeking an alliance. That's what that word means. An alliance and marriage. Yeah, to a new population. Okay, this right here. Okay, if I asked you why it was subjunctive, you go, I don't know, I've never seen a subjunctive with qui, right? So usually, okay, this is what's called a relative clause of purpose. Okay, what do purpose clauses usually look like? They usually start with what? Ut and a subjunctive verb, right? They usually don't have a clue word or anything like that. So the difference between a purpose clause and a relative clause of purpose, what is a relative clause? A relative clause is something that starts with qui, right, and gives you more information about a noun in a sentence. So the difference between a regular old purpose clause and a relative clause of purpose is that instead of instead of it starting with ut, it starts with qui. Who would seek an alliance and marriage to a new people. Okay, so we got nous quam is nowhere. So nowhere, the ambassadors. So how about we say the ambassadors have been heard. I guess you have been heard kindly, because that's an adverb. Nowhere. I guess you could also say the legates have been heard kindly nowhere, or nowhere kindly. So in other words, no one wanted their tribe's girls to go marry these weird Roman guys. Why not? Yeah, they're like outcasts, right? And he already killed his brother. I mean, how do you think your daughter's going to be safe when this guy killed his own brother? No. You know? Or he killed his uncle and his brother to be able to found a new kingdom? Is that going to make you very well received? No. Okay, that's a big problem for Romulus, right? Why is that a big problem? Yeah, he can't, his population won't survive because they don't have girls to procreate with, right? Yeah. Okay, so we got, so for the neighbors, not only were rejecting the Romans, but also they were, what does that word mean? Fearing such a rising city, or such a city rising in the middle. So in other words, they saw the Romans as a threat. Okay, so what do the Romans do? They have a choice. They can fight or they can retreat, right? What do you think they're going to do? Fight. That's right. So the angry Romans decided to use, and that takes the ablative, force. They decided to use force. Dun dun dun. Okay, so we got to this situation, or at this situation, you could probably say at this point, Romulus, right? Okay, now what is this? You see two things in the ablative, one of which is a perfect passive participle, What of absolute? Okay, so you can say with the games having been prepared. He did what? He invited his neighbors, to the spectacle. So basically, he's going to lure them in by a party. Okay, this is a valuable life lesson. Valuable life lesson. Someone invites you to a party, make sure you know that what their motives are. They could be trying to trap you and make you do drugs or something. Right? No? No? Yes? Yep. Yep. Okay, so we got many, right? Gathered. Look, now we got our real purpose clause. Many gathered in order to see the games. Or watch the games and to see the new city. I mean, that's legit, right? People wanted to come and, be spectators to see what the city was about. Right? Okay, the whole multitude, I don't think they realize it's a trap. The whole multitude of the Sabines.
When it's in the sentence too, but on the next page.
Oh, when it?
That's right.
Okay. The whole multitude of the Sabines came with their children and wives